Phyllis, Ben and I aren't getting married. He's not my type.
What do you mean, he's not your type? He is witty. He is attractive. He's successful. He's single.
He's gay.
The year was 1973. Homosexuality was considered a mental illness. You could be arrested for being gay in most of the country. No openly gay or lesbian person had ever been elected to public office. And Mary Tyler Moore, America's sweetheart, put a gay man in front of viewers for an entire episode without anyone noticing until the last minute, and then acted like it was no big deal, when it was, in fact, a very, very, very big deal. All aboard and welcome to Matt Baum's Culture Cruise, where we take a deep dive on LGBT themes on TV, in movies, in books and games, and more. This time we're taking a look at the Mary Tyler Moore Show, Season 3, Episode 17, My Brother's Keeper. Culture Cruise is made possible by the folks who pledge $1 or more a month on Patreon, folks like Lissy Roberts. Thanks, Lissy. If you're enjoying these videos, head over to patreon.com/mattbaum or click the link in the description to check out the exclusive rewards for folks who support the show. The episode My Brother's Keeper centers around the character of Phyllis. A busybody apartment manager, she wants to set her tenant Mary up with her brother Ben, who writes music for TV commercials.
Oh, Mary, you'll adore him. He's just like me.
Phyllis is what you'd call a meddler, and refuses to accept that Mary's just not that into him.
Seems as if you've been saved for each other.
Well, Phil, I'm not all that saved.
Phyllis is determined to connect Mary and Ben, but the two of them have zero chemistry.
Nice to meet you, Mary.
Very nice to meet you too, Ben.
I knew it. I just had a feeling.
Mary's neighbor Rhoda, on the other hand, gets along great with Ben.
Hiya there. Oh, boy, have we had a crazy day.
Oh, Rhoda.
That's a problem, because Phyllis hates Rhoda. Rhoda's loud, assertive, impulsive. In other words, she's fun. But Phyllis is not amused.
That woman has cast some sort of spell over Ben.
No spell, Phyllis. It's just that in case you haven't noticed, Rhoda is very attractive.
Is she?
Phyllis spends a long time fretting about what she thinks is going on between Rhoda and Ben. Rhoda even jokingly says they're gonna get married, at which point Phyllis makes her feelings known in the middle of a party. So then, in literally the last minute of the episode, Rhoda explains to Phyllis what's actually been going on.
What do you mean, he's not your type? He is witty. He is attractive. He's successful. He's single.
He's gay.
Now, let's pause it there, because there are a couple of ways the episode could go at this point. Remember, it's 1973, and mainstream America isn't exactly fond of the homosexual, and neither is mainstream television. Most TV shows from around this time reflect pretty hostile attitudes towards gay characters. They were often portrayed as killers, like on the show Dan August.
And why kill her?
She knew about me. She knew I was homosexual.
Or as perverts, like on this CBS News show.
The average homosexual, if there be such, is promiscuous. He is not interested in nor capable of a lasting relationship like that of a heterosexual marriage.
One news show aired a segment around this time entitled simply, "Are Gays Going to Hell?" So that is the context in which The Mary Tyler Moore Show, a lighthearted sitcom, revealed that the guest character that we've been watching for the entire episode is gay. I'll admit, when I first watched this, I was dreading what would come next. I was pretty sure I was about to see something super 1970s homophobic. Here's what happened next.
Oh, Rhoda, I'm so relieved.
Me too, Phyllis. Me too. I wasn't sure I liked this ending at first. Initially, I thought the joke was that it was ridiculous to be relieved to get this news, that only somebody like crazy Phyllis could possibly be happy about having a gay brother. But I don't think that's what's actually going on. The joke is more that Phyllis just worked herself up into a frenzy over what turned out to be no big deal.
I'm worried sick about Ben and Rhoda.
Despite all her dramatics, there was a totally reasonable explanation for what was happening that she was simply too wrapped up in herself to consider. In other words, Phyllis is the punchline, not Ben. Her ignorance is the joke, not his sexuality. So now the secret's out. Ben is gay. He's not going to marry Rhoda, and Phyllis can just relax. There's a cute little capper at the end of the episode, just 45 seconds, showing everyone chilling together like everything's fine.
I love Mozart.
No, Phyllis, this is my dog food commercial.
And while this may seem like a pretty trivial scene, some folks hanging out with a gay guy, remember, this was 1973. Homosexuality was illegal in most of the country, including Minneapolis, where the show is set. In fact, although it hasn't been enforced since 2001, Minnesota still technically has a ban on homosexuality to this day, with a penalty of $3,000 and a year in jail. The same year this episode aired, Minneapolis held its first Gay Pride Festival. The first meeting of PFLAG took place, that's the support group Parents and Friends of Lesbians and Gays, and San Francisco State University became the first university in the country to hire an open lesbian for a faculty position. And most significantly, in 1973, homosexuality was removed from the list of mental illnesses. As unremarkable as Ben looks here, at the time Americans saw this scene, he was considered a criminal, mentally ill, an outcast with no reasonable expectation of support from family and friends. So you might expect his outing to be an even bigger crisis for Phyllis and require a very serious episode conversation. But instead, it's just fine. No big deal. As long as he's not dating Rhoda, she's happy. This is an unbelievably positive response to a gay character on one of the most popular shows in the country. About a quarter of the TV sets in America were tuned to the Mary Tyler Moore Show in 1973. That's the same percentage as watched the last season of Seinfeld. And what did they see? Gay people aren't sick or sad or dangerous. They're just people. And fun to have at parties. Once Ben is out, everyone treats him like he's completely unremarkable. But considering the climate at the time, being unremarkable is the most remarkable thing about him. Land ho, we're pulling into port. Thanks for cruising along with us, and thanks to everyone who makes Culture Cruise possible with a pledge of $1 or more a month on Patreon. Folks like Lissy. Thanks again, Lissy. There's some lovely perks available to backers. Head over to patreon.com/MattBaum or click the link in the description to check out those rewards. Now, if you'll excuse me, I've got to go turn the world on with my smile.